keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind.
It was an event in September 1997 that has kept Georgia on the mind of our guest of this hour, X-Zone Nation. Don Vasquez is our special guest, and we're talking about an event at Fort Benning, Georgia in September 1977. John, could you continue your story, please? And thanks for being with us tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. Going back to the story, I know I sound really anxious, but, it's just I get into that mold, and it's not non-stopping. I mean, I was there, so, I know what happened to us.
You relive it every time you talk about it.
Yeah, it's like this happened last night. So, again, going back to the story, I remember lying on the ground, and I'm looking up, and this bigger light just started cruising around on the first building, and I'm going, this is not happening. This light was huge and intense, bright white light, and it was so bright that it was silhouetting all the frames in the building. So I'm going, wow, what is this? I must be hallucinating this. And my buddy who was laying next to me is asking me, John, what is it? What do you think this is? And I go, I don't know, but whatever it is, it's coming around the building. So he asked, what do you want to do? And I said, well, there's the building we're in, underneath, it's really dark, so why don't we just crawl into the center of the building? So all of us did. So we went to the center of the building, stopped, and by now this object parked itself in front of us. And it silhouetted the whole building, illuminate the whole, it just illuminated everything, too. And that's when I started hearing something. It sounds weird, unusual, and bizarre, but my left forehead started to get cold, and there was pressure there. And I hear this female voice. It said, it's okay. Don't be afraid. Come out. And I'm going, whoa, it sounded like a metallic voice far away, but it's right there. And I'm asking the guys, do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear this? And they're all kind of looking at me like, John, what's wrong with you, And I heard it again. She said the same thing. And by now I was telling the guys, and I told them, listen, let me go out there and see what this thing is. And, well, they kind of agreed, and I started crawling out. There was another guy who followed me, but I told him to just stay behind with the rest. And when I started crawling out of the building, I noticed something even more bizarre. Every time when I crawled closer and closer to the grassy mall, my hands would disappear, vanish.
Your hands would disappear?
Yeah, invisible. I could feel the ground, but I can't see my hands, both my hands. It's like maybe the light was so intense, my hands would disappear. I don't know, that was kind of strange. Really. Yeah, it would disappear, and I could feel the ground. That's weird. And when I started crawling out, I felt this concrete sidewalk, and I felt that. And I went up on the grassy mall. I stood up, turned to my left, and this huge, intense white light was sitting right in front of me. And I looked to my left, or down below to the left, and there was something small. It was in the light a little bit, but it was something small, scurry right back into the light again. I don't know what that was, but it's like a small thing. And I wanted to shield my eyes from this brightness, so I looked at my left hand, and I see my hands now, and something hit my shoulder, and it sounded like a fuse being blown. And I go down, and I could hear one of the guys screaming my last name and reaching for me, so I reached back at him, and I felt something else hit my back, and I became unconscious. And I don't know how long that was, but then when I noticed or heard something, there was a person on my left, another person on my right. There was a cover over me, and I was being lifted up like in an elevator, and I was heading straight to this. It looked like a doorway light. Something opened up, And I wasn't the only one who was being lifted up from the ground, too. There was other people coming up, other guys, other soldiers.
And you were going up into this craft?
Yeah, there was a door opened up or something in the sky. You know, the whole sky is dark. I don't see any stars.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a bright light, like a door opened up. And we're heading right straight to it. I was, and so was the other guys. When I got there, well, I hear this female voice again.
Now, when you get there, you're inside the ship.
Yeah, I was inside the ship, and I could hear this female voice again. And she asked me, "How are you? How are you doing?" or something like that. And I'm thinking, what? You know, I didn't say nothing. I was just, I guess, talking to her from her mind or something. I was going, "What do you mean by how am I doing?" You know, that's a strange question to ask, and I'm going through all this. And she said, "Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Just lay still, and we'll take care of you." So, you know, I don't know how long I was out, but once in a while I would wake up or something, and all of a sudden when I did that, I turned to my left, my face to my left, and I see rows of guys lying on metal slabs. And this place was huge. It's like walking into a mall.
Wow.
And there was rows of guys like in line, but it was kind of curved, circular. And I'm looking at these guys and going, God, what is this? What's going on here? You know? And she came back and she pointed her long finger at me and she said, "Go to sleep." So I passed out right there. I think she didn't want me to see what was going on.
What was going on?
Examination, row by row, one person at a time, like a conveyor belt, you know,
Mm-hmm.
next one. You know, and I'm out for a while, and then next day I remember, after she pointed her finger at me, is that I'm sitting up, and I'm looking at this unusual, terrifying look. It was a male being or something. The hideous part is that his cranium, his head, had lumps on it, huge lumps, like bumps, you know. And I'm looking at him. He's telling me, "Look into my eyes, and you'll be fine." I go, "No, I'm not looking into your eyes. I don't know who you are. I don't know what's going on here. I must be hallucinating all this, you know." And he says, No, just look into my eye, and you'll be fine." So I'm kind of looking through his eyes, and 3 images came to my mind, like a picture. One was myself standing in the middle of the ocean. I mean, thousands of miles all around me, there was no land. I'm just standing in the middle of the ocean. And the next one was I was in my room, well, not my room, but in some huge room, and there was lights flickering off and on, different lights. And I'm seeing this window, huge window, glass window, like a, I don't know, viewpoint.
Right.
And I'm looking at this planet being destroyed, exploding. And, you know, a lot of people ask me, "Well, you think that was Earth, John?" I go, "No." I had the impression that they were telling me that was their planet. Their planet was being destroyed, and they were looking for another one. And I think they found it here.
Now, when they were communicating with you telepathically, did you feel as if you were in any imminent danger? Did you feel as if there was safety aboard this craft?
Well, actually, you know, they were in control.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wanted to do was to take us in control. So, you know, basically, I felt actually no kind of hostile environment at all, or hostile feeling from these guys. Because when I was looking at this one point where this viewpoint was, and I get the impression that they were telling me that was our planet, and we were looking for another one. You know, and then, and like I said, they did find one, which is here. How long they're going to stay, I don't know. It might not even stay at all. They did find another place to go to far away from here.
So how long were you aboard this craft?
If I can mention the third image I saw.
Oh, please, yeah.
Yeah, the third image was a humanoid. He had a white dressing on. Looked like a hat.
Mm-hmm.
His face was all pale, white pale, like paste, white paste face. Long, narrow chin,
mm-hmm.
long, narrow nose, eyes like a humanoid. It wasn't slanted or huge, just regular humanoid. No eyebrows. But his eyes were like silver or mercury.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a weird-looking humanoid. So when that was over, the next thing I remember is that all of us, each and every one of us, 1,300 men, officers, sergeants, everybody, we're back in formation again.
So let me just see if I understand this. All 1,300 members of A, B, C, and D Company were taken into this craft.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, well, I mean, something happened to us. I mean, we're in this huge mall. I mean, this mall was like, you've seen a mall. You can walk in and it's about 3 or 4 stories high, and we're all laying on metal slabs. And it's like a straight line, but a curve to your right a little bit, like in a circle.
Oh, all right. So you end up back in formation, and I'm just hurrying it on a little bit because we're running out of time. What happened when you got back into formation?
When we got back in formation, and our sergeants were telling us go back to your barracks, and I'm thinking, hey, where's the captain's speech? He never made a speech, and all of us lost our balance. The ground came up on us. For me, it did. I fell over. When I got up and I was asking what happened, everybody was saying, yeah, we all fell down, and we started walking back to our barracks. Some of us got sick, and I looked at my watch, and it said 7:30, and I asked my buddy what time it was, and he said, oh, no, it's 3:30. He asked his friend, he said, no, 4:45. All night long, all morning. We walked back to our barracks, and everybody had this bizarre behavior. I never seen this bizarre before. It was weird. I mean, some guys went to bed with this flashlight on and the covers over them, and some guys would pop up screaming. I just saw a face in a wall and screaming and turning the lights off and on.
John, is it possible that all of you were part of some sort of experiment, psychological experiment, performed by the staff at Fort Benning?
That's a good question you asked, because I checked that, and, I have to jump way to the last week of September. Now, we're jumping across pretty, like 3 weeks to jump, okay?
Yeah.
And, we, the last week of September, not mentioning the other rest of the thing that happened to us in between the month of September, this female officer came by, very petite. She had about, 5 or 6 drill sergeants that we never seen before, and they were like ex-football players, 6'6", 6'8", 6'7", and wherever she went, they followed her around. And we're kind of surprised to see her around because she's female, and there's no female around in our post. And, we wanted to find out what she was all about, and a couple of days later, we got the word that she was a psychiatrist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then she wanted to talk to all of us, and I told myself, no, she's not going to be talking to me, no way, But, 3 days later, I was sitting in a, pool room, playing pool and watching TV, and I walked out, and I was walking down the stairway, and here she comes with one of my buddies. And normally he would have said something like, hey, John, what's going on, what you've been hearing, or something like that. At this time, he just looked at her, and she looked at him, and he just walked away.
John, stand by. We've got to take a break. We'll be right back. Don Vasquez is our special guest. A very interesting story.